The D-pad contains crude language, cringe humor, and suggestive themes. Viewer discretion is advised.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me.
We're gonna have a TV party tonight. Alright! We're gonna have a TV party, alright!
Okay, welcome to the D-pad. I'm your host DZ Dog. You're here with Dragonking Mark and Austin Trench. We're gonna talk about nonsense.
So who's first?
Okay, I guess I can go. Anyone see
Alright.
Hey Arnold Jungle movie?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. It was
Because
alright.
I had to go to work.
Yeah. I didn't watch it that day either. I had to watch it yesterday. It was okay.
What?
Huh?
What were you watching?
Hey Arnold, the Jungle movie.
Oh my god, yes. 15 freaking years. And we finally got the ending we needed.
Yeah, it was kind of
Yeah, I heard it's better than Samurai Jack.
yeah, a little bit. It was a little cheesy, but I don't really want to spoil it because Trent hasn't watched it. But he does end up
Nor
finding.
do I plan to until like years later.
Oh, well, suit yourself, I guess.
Yeah, it was a bit predictable at times, but at the same time, it was still good. Like,
Mm-hmm.
You know what else makes you feel good? A Taiwanese hooker.
Oh, that's funny. That's a comedy we all like. I'm sorry, I'm a little tired.
Ooh.
I'm not really in the zone.
Why not the auto zone?
Oh, I knew you were gonna say that.
Am I that predictable?
Sure. Yes.
Damn it. You friggin' weeb trash.
Hey, I'm not weeb trash. That's one of Logan's friends.
So, y'all seen Justice League?
no.
Oh God, no.
Why? It was really good.
I heard it was terrible.
Wait, you saw it?
Yeah.
No, I heard it was terrible.
Oh. Hmm.
I
Well-
understand word of mouth helps people to decide whether or not they want to spend their hard-earned money or hard-begged money by their parents
Uh-huh.
to go see a film that has had a troubled production, but if you go in there with a little bit of low expectations or a glimmer of hope, you come out satisfied and you get something really good out of it. Very strong performances, a bit of a weak villain because comic book movies all around the world can't make a fucking decent villain for some reason because they want to sell more toys and they don't really have time for a bad guy. So that's that, but you get strong heroic actions, sci-fi spectacle, great music, good character interactions other than Ben Affleck, who looks like he doesn't want to be there because I think everyone knows about what happened to him.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like super awkward. Whenever he talks to them, they're like, come on, man, don't talk to me. They're going to implicate me too. Buttman's in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks all right. It just seems very a lot of people were saying it was like kind of a superhero movie from the 90s, which I guess would be pretty fun to see. If that's what it's going to be
It
like.
feels just like the first Avengers, only, not as big,
Uh-huh.
because last time DC did something really big, people hated it, such as Man of Steel, where it's justifiably where thousands of people die. So nowadays they're like, okay, let's do it somewhere where barely anyone gets harmed. Otherwise they'll hate us again. Because our fan base and the critics are animals towards us.
Yeah. Well, I might see it after I see Coco and Thor Ragnarok and all those other movies. I've been really behind, movie-wise.
Slowpoke.
Yeah, I know. I'm busy playing video games and working.
I mean, I'm just quoting Superman when he talked to the Flash.
Oh.
Ah,
Yeah, and that was another complaint I heard from people about was the Flash. He seemed they were trying too hard to be quirky.
They made him autistic, but I didn't really.
Oh.
I wasn't really offended by that. I thought it was pretty accurate that his brain is going a kajillion miles an hour, and no one really understands it. He's thinking about so many things, and he's the rook. He's the kid of the group.
Yeah. And
He's
so
the new guy.
He's actually autistic. Did the creators
It's
say that?
implied through his performance. It's not like because Ezra Miller does a variety of performances throughout his career. This one felt like it was more geared towards people with little mental instability, because he can act calm and stuff, and then he gets nervous, and then he just like doesn't know what to say to people, and it's just like, I mean, it's implied he could have the character could have ADHD, but it does show some backstory that he's Jewish, his dad's in jail, and by the way, the jail interaction scenes with Barry and his father is on par with the TV show Flash, only not as melodramatic as the Flash one is, because CW, it's a soap opera show. It has to have that in there, and I'm fine with that. But it's very well done, and they actually have a really pleasant father-to-son conversation that I was like, wow, there's a lot of heart put into this. And then you get into the cringe parts, where those parts are directed by Joss Whedon, which is very few, where Batman gets all jokey outside of his costume. Like, I want to spoil this for you, because so that way you don't get disgusted by it. He walks up to Aquaman with his mask off. They're all downstairs. They all know who Bruce Wayne is. They all know who each other are. And he's like, hey, could you put like an APB out in the sea? Do you talk to fish? And Aquaman just stares at him going like, what? It's like, no, the sea talks to them. The fish. I can't talk to fish. It's like I think Aquaman's sick of being the butt of everybody's joke that he can talk to fish, and he like threatens the Flash, like, if you tell anyone about this whatsoever, I will introduce you to every piranha I know.
Yeah,
Aquaman's badass in this though, which I like. Like, he takes on the bad guy. Well, everyone else gets their asses kicked, handed over by Steppenwolf. He puts up a good fight against him.
I'm pretty sure this is because people might not have not liked his design, so they're just like, you know what? Let's just shut those guys up by having Aquaman tear ass up.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. Plus, Aquaman needs this. He's been the butt of so many jokes throughout.
I mean, Batman the Brave and the Bold, I kind of like that Aquaman. He was funny.
He's just like...
He was just funny to me. Like,
that was the best one.
This one's really good too. He's kind of like a biker dude, but he's a really chill guy unless you gap in his face. And then there's the most dreaded thing you could see. Have you guys heard of Mustache Gate?
Oh yeah, the original version had.
Want to see something scary?
Sure.
All right, hold on a sec. This one's suspicious.
Is it that one scene where he was like flying and his lip was all CG?
Oh, yeah, that was.
Oh, okay.
But you don't know what it looks like, though.
I heard about it. I haven't seen it.
All right, don't rush me.
Uh-oh.
Trying to find it.
Uh-oh, it's gonna be scary.
It's gonna be spooky wooky. You're gonna be woke, gonna be shook and woke at the same time. man, you're gonna be all these things, man. This isn't geometry, man. All right, here it is.
Oh no.
What
Oh,
the?
oh.
Yeah.
And there's even a great meme attached to it.
Oh, he looks like a wax dummy.
Looks more like he's high.
Oh, it's horrifying. And she tells you she won't get the.
Oh, but in the scene where they bring Superman back to life because DC is like that South Park commercial. We're sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like, we shot our load too soon. Sorry, it doesn't normally happen to us.
Yeah,
We have a
that was like
problem.
the low point of the movie right there.
And Batman v Superman, I admit, they should have just had a Lex Luthor fight sequence. Giant
Yeah.
robot suit. I think people would have been happy with that. And just like, hey, just save Doomsday for a really shit tearing up experience. But Superman does come back, and when he does, they drop all of the mooding and brooding stuff because his character has evolved by that. By when he dies in Batman v Superman, he understands everything. So when he comes back, he kind of forgets who he is for like a couple minutes, and then he's like, okay, let's go to the farm, and it's like, goes with Lois. They all meet there, his mom and stuff, and then they're like, okay, and it's like, well, I got to save the world because I owe Bruce one for saving your mom. Me, Martha, don't say that. I get them mad again. Like, they're terrified of their fans in this movie. You can tell it's just like, just don't say Martha. Just don't say it.
That would be funny if he just sets
Fans
him
are
off. Like every time someone says Martha.
pitchfork.
Did someone just says Martha? Like it just like triggers him.
Oh.
Like, but he does get in Batman's face and tries to choke him and yells, "Do you bleed?" I'm like, yeah, Bruce, you kind of get all this coming. He gets his ass kicked by Superman. Yeah, it's like, we get it. Bruce Wayne deserves all this. He's like that guy in Little Nicky. I deserve this. Get humped by a big horny bird in hell. No, that's a real thing in that movie. But
I haven't seen that in years, so I wouldn't know.
yeah. So Superman comes back. They even use the original Batman and Superman themes for this movie, which is a bonus if you're nostalgic, because when Superman uses his theme, which is like a couple music cues of it, you feel it. You feel like, yeah, he's Superman now. Like, he starts smiling, joking with Flash. Like, he goes, Slowpoke, he's faster than him, or as fast as him. And Flash is like, oh, it's so on. I'm like, oh, this is... It was nothing but fanfare, which kind of like what Suicide Squad was. Not in, like, a bad way, but it's like in Justice League, it felt like, okay, let's do this, but better. And Justice League does that in spades. It's not like in the Avengers where the team has this really different moral lapse other than, hey, let's not bring back Superman. We can do this on our own. And like, Batman's like, did you see what happened to us earlier? And Cyborg's really cool in it too. He's kind of sullen, but that's to be expected because he doesn't have
Cyborg.
Well, that too. Like, he's like 98% machine. He's just a head at this point, which the CGI looks good, but again, we all would prefer a practical looking suit. Even if it looks kind of fake, we're like, okay, that's physically there. Doesn't look like a stripped iPhone. It's like, put on some pants, Cyborg. It's like, I can't look at you. And even Flash looks at him and just like his eyes are just like wide, like, what the hell am I looking at? But there is some good things about his suit. The hands are supposed to look like the Terminators, and his legs are supposed to look like RoboCop. And it doesn't help that the guy from Terminator 2 is Cyborg's father, which I'm like, this is a big reference for only nerds. So kudos, Zach. Again, a lot of the cringy scenes are the Whedon ones where they try to force humor, but Whedon does a pretty good job finishing up where Zach left off because... as we all know, Zach had to leave because of an unfortunate, horrific tragedy befalling his young daughter
Oh,
eldest daughter, which we wish nothing but the best for Zach and his family during this time.
Yes.
And you can definitely tell when scenes were cut, because there's a scene where Batman's recruiting Aquaman, and you can tell, because I have been watching these teasers and trailers and stuff like that, Ben Affleck's beard is different colors in certain shots, not because of lighting, but because of how the hairs are, because there's patches of gray during the original cut, and then in the next cut he had to regrow it out, so it's a different color. There's no gray there, so it's something you really have to pay attention for. But so far, the humor is really good, especially when Barry interacts with people. Where like I said, he is the kid. He bonds with Cyborg. He tries to get Cyborg to open up, trying to do fist bumps with him, trying to get him to smile, and at the end when he's with Superman, he starts smiling, and at the end he does give the Flash a fist bump, and he does say, "Booyah." I was the only one in the theater that clapped during that. Everyone clapped for everything else, but I was dead silence, and I clapped for Booyah. And it's really? But, if you guys aren't a fan of the DCEU, then that's fine. There's no, you just like Marvel, meh. No, it's just a movie, for goodness sakes. I mean, I want this movie to do well because I want my damn Ben Affleck Batman movie, but due to his allegations of, and he might be replaced by Jake Gyllenhaal, I might not get that. But if you guys want to see it, I recommend you just pay for it rather than just watch it online. I understand that, but, I understand you want to teach Warner a lesson, but not like this. It's kind of it's like a jigsaw trap, and you're letting that person die. Not like this. Have them pay for their crimes. Not like this. You hear the game over as the box office dies. And, they shut the door into the Taco Bell bathroom. You just see a guy there just had an enchilada washing his hands, ignoring the dead bodies around him. It was don't you see us? This is Taco Bell, man.
Yes.
You see Gravity Falls fanfic toilet paper roll next to him.
Oh no, I know what he's referencing. No.
huh?
It's called Dipper Goes to Taco Bell. It's a fanfic, I guess. I don't know what kind of fan would write that.
Someone who really wanted to make people go, "What the fuck am I reading?"
It's got to be a troll.
It's one of the best trolls ever since that Navy SEAL shitpost. But again, if I had to rate it, it would have to be an 8 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's a lot of fun, and it feels like an episode of the Justice League cartoon. Only a bit more rushed, because Warner is on panic mode again, even after fans are defending it and the box office is doing pretty good. A lot of people saying it's bombing, but I'm dude, it's only been a couple of weeks. Batman v Superman made so much money because no one had ever seen Batman, Superman, stuff like that. They've seen the Justice League as cartoons, but they've never seen Batman and Superman fight. You basically contributed to a market that just wanted to see Batman pound someone's face in.
We all do.
We all knew Batman was actually going to win that fight, which he did, technically, but yeah, if you guys want to see it, I recommend it. If you just want to see it without paying for it, then, well, just do what everyone else does on the internet.
Yeah, I'll probably just, Redbox it or whatever.
Bye-bye, box office. Oh, well, at least we'll still have the Aquaman movie. I can't believe I'm actually saying that out loud.
Dude, why? I mean, Aquaman seems pretty cool.
I know, but it's I've never thought in my life that I would say, a movie sounds really good that could possibly save this franchise. Aquaman. You hear the Curb Your Enthusiasm music play in the background. What mad world do we live in? Oh, wait, it's the real world. I forgot.
Yeah, 2017.
Yep.
Really be a
It's gonna
world
be.
that's
It's actually been a freaking year since Trump was inaugurated into office, and I'm surprised we haven't burned this place to the ground.
Oh boy, here we go. Let's not get political yet.
Still got 3 more years. 2 or 3 more years.
I
I
bet
give
he's
us
just
one
going to
more
sit
for-
at his desk with one of those things where the balls go back and forth hitting another set of balls, and he's just like, Mr. President, you haven't signed a bill in like 3 years. Wait, there's nothing wrong? And everyone's like, is Trump dead? It's like Willy Wonka in the factory. He stumbles out, then he does like a cartwheel accidentally onto a board, which hits him in the nuts. No offense, Mr. President.
Uh-oh.
Please don't have me killed. I love The Apprentice. So I like to see all the stupid looks on people's faces when they were fired.
I doubt anyone's watching this, let alone the president. So we'll be fine.
And you be cut to the White House. I want these guys gone. I want them gone. But sir, shut up. I want them gone.
Oh god, we're all gonna die.
Or Baron's like, Pence, hey, come over here. Shh, I'm busy. Yes. I'm curing my gay thoughts. He's electrocuting himself. Now's not the time for your playing bingo. I'm not playing bingo.
Oh.
BINGO.
We're gonna look back at all this and laugh if we're not dead.
And the apocalypse, we're like, so then this happened. While we're all on our portable Pit Boys.
Yeah.
Walking around while raiders are just basically
Bottle
destroying
caps.
shit. Super mutants.
And they're alt-righters.
Oh.
They have tiki torches. No.
Uh-oh, guys, we're gonna get flagged for hate speech.
Oh no, that means I can't buy Wolfenstein.
Uh-oh. It's on sale now, Black Friday.
Oh, Black Friday. You're the reason why why a lot of people are hesitant to come over to this country legally.
I don't blame them.
I really don't. I mean, have you seen what happens on Black Fridays?
It's literally like something out of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, there was like this, it was like a Target manager who was giving like a speech while standing on, it was either a register or a desk or something. He was trying to get everyone like fired up. Yeah, it's crazy. Thankfully, I haven't had any incidents when I was working retail during Black Friday or that time.
That's good. I'm glad you were safe.
Yeah.
And no offense to the world, it's like the reason why Black Friday is that stuff because people have dispensable and affordable income, and a lot of prices nowadays are, when it's not during those type of holiday seasons, are a little bit higher. So they think that when those prices are lowered, they have a better chance of getting Christmas gifts. It's nothing like, oh, they're dumb. Like, no, they're just people trying to both fuel the economy and just trying to get something nice for their family. It's just when the heat of the moment happens, people's intelligence goes down.
You just watch them try to kill each other for like a giant TV.
But
You think-
capitalism.
But you think our
Logan.
enemies watch this with a bowl of popcorn going, oh my god, this is hilarious.
I do that all the time. Sure, why
Me
not?
too, man. It's like Game of Thrones in real life.
Only with no nudity.
Yeah, oh, thank God, no nudity. Have you seen the people out there?
Brrr. It's like every person that goes there is a manager at Jenny's. By the way, Superman's face in the movie looks like someone who just saw what the inside of a Denny's looks like. He's just like, "Ugh."
What?
Yeah.
Just walks in, you hear that Vietnam flashback music like, You see the morbidly obese woman work on the claw machine. Like, damn, I had this thing ready. I need my Sonic the Hedgehog plush, which
Christian
is a real thing.
out in his natural habitat, or her natural habitat.
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog's natural habitat.
No, I
is
meant like
Denny's.
Christian.
No, it wasn't Christina. She has more class, believe it or not.
Yeah, she wouldn't be caught dead in a Denny's. She lives in
that's
trash.
enough from me. How about you lot?
Well, let's see. I bought a bunch of games because I'm a lazy bastard.
Welcome to my world.
Should have been saving that
But
money.
you already live in another world. It's called non-existence. Because none of us truly exist in this world. We're just consciousness encased in meat.
And
Thank you. I learned everything from the Jim Carrey school of what the hell is wrong with you.
oh yeah, he did. He went on like that weird rant thing with that one interviewer. And I was like,
That's
okay.
what happens when you play Andy Kaufman. It goes into your head.
Yeah, you just become this walking meme, this joke. You lose sight of who you are. I know the feeling.
I don't think Jim does. He looks like, where the hell am I? He's not even on drugs. I just think his brain is just damaged that much from acting.
I can't
Just kidding,
imagine.
Jim. We love you. Please don't kill me.
Yeah, we love you, Jim. Just don't
Hear the door
molest
burst and
anyone.
you hear, alrighty then, and a chainsaw goes off. It becomes Wolfenstein New Colossus, but with Jim Carrey against his haters.
I'd play that.
I'm pretty sure anyone would.
If that game was moddable, I would definitely play a mod like that.
And
Yeah.
Ethan and Gila as his sidekicks.
Yeah, so you should mod the game to have just like Ethan's like different voice clips playing.
Every time he shoots a Nazi, he just go. But no, it's the gunshots. You just hear. And the villain is so slow. And his face is stretched out. And his last words before he beheads Ethan is, we were playing checkers, but I was playing chess. I think Soflo's going to watch this and go, that's actually a good idea. I'm going to steal that and post it on my Facebook.
Yeah, well, Ethan and Hila are in Payday, I think, as like characters now, so that's pretty cool. I might actually check it out. Now if that's a
Payday is such a good game, and it's like a lot of people think that they're tied up in actual movies, like because they've had characters from John Wick and Hardcore Henry show up,
Mm-hmm.
and it's implied because in Hardcore Henry, the character Jimmy has a mask made out of duct tape, and in the game Payday 2, he opens up a drawer to pick up a gun, and you see that duct tape mask there. So it's implied that Hardcore Henry is a video game movie.
Oh,
And that's the first ever FPS
Oh.
movie, so it's like, okay, this takes place in the world Payday does. But then you see a Payday 2 poster in the background somewhere next to a Left 4 Dead poster.
Oh, so that just completely destroys that theory.
Yeah, but I liked it.
Aw.
But there was even a commercial where the character was interacting with the actors who played the Payday 2 characters.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. That
Which
was
is a
actually
friggin' awesome trailer for it. Get Cokehead Jimmy. It's like, there's not a better character to play as than Cokehead Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need to get that during, I guess, the sale on Steam, or I don't know. Do they have it on GOG? I'm not sure. I'll have to check. But I'm definitely gonna get it, maybe.
I want to at the very least try to get Divinity Dragon Commander sometime.
Never heard. Oh, actually, no, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good.
I'm gonna try to get the Batman Telltale games because everyone tells me they're so great.
That means they're gonna be shit. I don't know. They're probably gonna be okay.
I don't I don't know how a Telltale game is great.
Telltale
like,
games
From
are
what I
something that
saw,
you watch
pretty
rather
good.
than play.
Pretty decent.
In my opinion, it's one of those
they're
things.
just motion comic books.
Exactly.
I understand. It's like, dude, it's Batman. What'd you expect? I'm like, I expected to play a game where I'm Batman. Say what you will about Arkham Knight, but it's like, did you get to play as Batman?
Yes.
Did you get all the overpowered gadgets that he had?
Fair enough.
Did you get to fly around Gotham City? I mean, really fly around in it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, like an open world Batman game.
A
Yeah, you
Batman
kinda
Beyond
had
game
that.
open world would be amazing.
Wasn't it
to have.
Arkham Knight that had something like that, or was one of them? I can't remember.
Arkham Knight and Arkham
Knight.
Origins introduced the full multi-map thing, but Arkham
Yeah.
City introduced like the 2-map system thing.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Arkham City's good, but I don't think it's as great as people say it is. Now, Arkham Asylum, I think, is the best of
Yeah,
of
the
the
first
original
one was
stuff.
good.
And I think Arkham Origins is like the crown jewel. Because, like, it's this ultimate Batman story where it's Christmas Eve, villains all about, all that stuff.
Oh, so it's
And
a
it,
Christmas game.
It is a Christmas game, so it's like, you got a lot of holiday shit there, and, like, unfortunately, they took out a lot of stuff that people were looking forward to. Like, in Arkham City, they had, like, Citizens in Danger thing, where somebody was getting beat up by a thug, but like now it's just corrupt cops and bankers that are getting assaulted by them. So you can't hear someone go, "Please, someone help!" And it's just like that's not really a Batman thing. Plus, it's all snowed in, so everybody's inside except the police.
Well, they gotta make sure there aren't any kids getting drunk. I don't know, robbing people. Trying to make
Yeah.
World Star videos.
Oh, World Star.
Hmm.
The cops beat up homeless people in that game. It's like, this is a depressing city to live in. I think Honest Trailers said it best. Why do people still live here? I think it's like Detroit. They got nowhere to go.
You think they would have moved?
Well, some
They're
people.
like, we ain't letting them crackers take our land.
Yeah,
He's
that's
like, how do you spend like that? It's a guy in a cracker suit. I'm Cracker Man. And someone says, that's racist! As a Ritz. But,
Okay.
everyone says, Telltale, that's the true Batman experience. And I'm like, whatever, I might give it a shot. Might. But that's all from me.
All right, well, let's see. How long have we been going? We haven't really been going that long. I don't really have that much actually. We're at like
EA
40
and
minutes.
microtransactions.
Oh, we got to talk about this again, of course. EA being EA.
I think they would have stopped by now, but at least this is good because of the fact how now I guess like companies are actually taking a stand against it, and like even governments are doing it. Like the government of Hawaii called Battlefront 2 a casino with a Star Wars skin.
Really?
Yeah.
Where is that? Can you link that?
Give me a minute. I'll try to find the interview.
Okay, because I remember this one game company, like they were so appalled by what EA was doing that they stopped doing microtransactions. So there's some sort of change. People are actually, voting with their wallets and not just like, oh, I don't like this, but I'm gonna get the game anyway.
I don't I'm curious, like, how evil is EA for real? Like, because I hear
they're
all
bad.
these stories, I see all these South Park spoofs of them. Like, they're
They
like
are
a slave company
not good.
or, like, demonic.
Have you heard of a company called Pandemic? They made the original
No.
Star Wars Battlefront games. They ended up killing that company. I can't remember what were the actual details. And that's like a common thing that EA does is
Here it is.
they get these companies. Oh, thanks, Mark. They take these companies who make games for them, and then they just, I guess they like kind of liquidate them in a way. Like
They did the same. They did it with they did it with Visceral Games.
Yeah, they just like take them and then they just kind of absorb them and then like I don't know, disband them. It's really weird and kind of complicated. I can't really explain it because I'm not
So
a
they're
business
like
type
the
of
Thing.
person. Yeah, they're basically just like this this blob that just assimilates everything into it, like Disney.
Or the
You know,
Dawn
one day
of
Disney is
Presidency.
going to buy Warner Brothers and DC. They're like, we're gearing up for that battle.
Just sit back and watch. But I'm
It
at
would
the
be
very
interesting to
least
see
kinda-
Batman beat up Mickey Mouse. That way you can just walk in all dazed and confused saying, I just saw Batman beat up Mickey Mouse. I don't know how to feel about that other than, check please. If you didn't know anything, check please.
Check, please. Should have made breakfast this morning, Ed.
Should have had the breakfast. Should have had the space soup. Oh yeah, by the way, they're making a Star Wars themed hotel.
Oh god, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
See Darth Vader carry your luggage. It's like, that poor man.
That's just I know they have to wear that suit. while
He has to
carrying
wear.
those-
He got his masters for this.
uh,
Or worse, it's like that horrible anime Dead Man Wonderland where they employ ex-cons. Oh,
To
poor
fight to
cons.
the death.
yeah.
Fight to the death and real lightsabers.
Yes, right. We
So
have
when
actual
someone has the high
lightsabers.
ground, it's a do or die.
That would be funny if they actually did have like working lightsabers and they're just using them for these goofy attractions.
That would be hilarious.
Like they're not
It's
actually
Yeah,
like,
like,
well-
the most real card. You get you see these real cut off and cauterized wounds, and they're like, play it up for the cameras. I was like, oh. You're crying and bleeding at the same time.
yeah, I don't know
So,
how I feel about that.
Honestly, if there's one thing I'm curious about is the new Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi. I hope they don't fuck it up because looking at Force Awakens, they kind of had some things that were left unexplained, like the Resistance. Why were they created? I mean, I only found this out later because thanks to Battlefront 2, the Resistance was formed because Leia Organa didn't agree with the New Republic Senate about what they wanted to do with the remnants of the Empire, which would later become the First Order.
You think it would have brought that up in the actual movie? Because that's kind of a
You-
big thing. Like I was confused. Like, why are they still a resistance? Shouldn't they be the New Republic? What's going on?
I think there was a scene that was going to explain that, but they cut it out.
damn you cutting.
I honestly hope they don't do that in the next movie. Because there's going to be a lot of things we need to talk about. Because like, I had to look it up and found out that Leia was a bit upset over the Republic, so she's like, "Okay, you guys, you do you. I'm going to go ahead and train up a resistance against the remnants of the Empire because we all know they're going to come after our ass for this. So while you guys all play politics and be a bunch of dumbasses, I'm actually going to prepare and get myself ready for this." Sure enough, Force Awakens, Republic.
She wasn't ready for the giant planet-destroying planet.
Honestly, I don't think anybody was.
It was like, oh, another Death Star. We didn't expect that at all. Like,
Except
no,
we did.
actually expected something original.
Honestly, Leia was at least smart enough to know that this was not gonna Cold War. No, they should have just gotten rid of them entirely.
Oh, so they believe in eugenics. Now I'm starting to see why the First Order isn't so bad. And is it just me, or does Kylo Ren look like that new guy, Matt? The radar technician guy.
Oh.
It must be a coincidence. You can tell. He sounds like him, behaves like him, but he's not him.
Clearly.
Weird.
Mm.
I kept
I do
saying
like
that Kylo Ren had an 8-pack, and I'm like, how the hell would he know that?
Thing is like when it came to Battlefront 2, like I'm gonna kind of be spoiling the game, some of the story for the game, but let's face it, the story was meh. Like you're supposed to be playing as these Imperial agents called Inferno Squad, and it's supposed to be like from their side of the story. But then, like halfway through the game, like 3 or 4 missions in, they switch over to the rebels after they find out that this uh move that the Empire is doing, Operation Cinder, is basically just involving wiping out Imperial controlled planets using weather altering satellites to change the weather to destroy the planets. And I'm like, why? And according to them,
Because
they gave the shallow because the shallow reason is to spread fear of the Empire. When that fear spreads, people will return back to the Empire. I'm like, yeah, these guys really need to die. And like you know it was gonna happen too. I mean, if they had actually made it so Inferno Squad, we played a few more missions as Inferno Squad with the Imperials, but like start to show the subtle, I guess, chinks when they start like
Whoa, language.
like the sudden cracks in the loyalties of Inferno Squad. That way, like later halfway through when Vardos happens, it just clicks that they have to stop it. Like if they had done that, like taking their time, like it could have worked. But they're like, nope. Like we all know what's gonna happen, so let's just get it out of the way. They do really show the Battle of Jakku, though. I mean, that was good. And there is like what?
Sorry.
I mean, there is like this one mission where Dell, the Imperial agent that you hang out with as Iden, he actually meets Luke Skywalker on this planet of Pilio, and Luke's interactions with him is what causes Dell to question what the Empire is. So he basically is like, when the Vardos thing happens, like the next mission later, it's just like, he's like, no, we gotta save, the Empire's supposed to save people. And Hask, this other guy who is basically just like an Imperial, just basically like the bad guy in this, he's like, no, we have our orders, we don't leave the civilians behind. I'm like, you think after everything the Empire's been doing, they would have been like, I mean, I like Dell. I mean, he actually believed in an Empire, but like he believed in the Empire, but just like meeting Luke and stuff, he's like made him change, I guess. Though I thought Dell was a pretty interesting character in a way. I mean, he did mention that he was at Lothal as a soldier.
The Fall?
In Lothal and Star Wars Rebels, that's one of the main center planets of the series of that show.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
I always feel like the Empire and First Order gets a bad rap. I mean, yeah, they've murdered civilians innocently, but who hasn't?
True, but the Empire.
I mean, look at what
had
the
a
Rebels did.
motivation.
Like, if Rogue One showed, like, they killed civilians too.
Yeah, like I like that. Like it showed both sides literally literally did bad things, but for their own reasons. But according to the legends, canon, Palpatine actually created the Empire to fight off against the Yuzan Vong, this alien race that is supposed to be outside of the system, and he built the Empire to have it stand united against it. Except without the Legends canon, it just shows the Empire as the big bad evil Empire.
I mean, I really would like to see, like, what order do they bring to the galaxy, because
mostly it's just totalitarian.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
dictatorship,
I mean, either people are spoon-fed propaganda, like in a Nazi country, or like they've done something to earn the public's trust this much. Like, it's ridiculous how many. And in the original stuff, like, a lot of the people who are stormtroopers are obviously people who enlisted.
Well, from what I remember, many of the Alderani defected after what happened with the Death Star and Alderaan. After seeing what happened, many of them defected to the rebel side because of what they did. So
yeah, but I mean, like, before that.
Yeah, I mean, like before that, like,
was Darth Vader viewed as a hero at one point?
I don't know. Maybe
because he was like, obviously, he looks like he was the poster guy for the Empire. And it's like, yeah, join the Empire, you get to hang out with this guy.
If
They're
any,
like, wow, I want to hang out with that guy. He seems cool.
if anything, Rebels at the very least gave some more sympathy for some of the Empire characters, like Callus. I like him. I wish that the game had more people like Callus. He was at first against the rebels. After a bit of, he gets a bit of interesting character development when he interacts with one of them, Zeb, when they were trapped on an ice planet together. And then eventually Then he eventually secretly helps the rebels as Fulcrum, and eventually He then joins the rebels. So
Traitor.
yeah,
TR-8R.
He did start to question some of the things that they did, and the episode when he and Zeb have to work together, you actually see it through his sort of eyes, like at the end, like Zeb is reunited with his friends, and they're just like really glad he's back. And Callus, when he just returns, he's just like the admiral. He just walks past him. He's like, and they're just like, and Callus is like, Admiral, and he's like, Agent Callus, just walks away. And you just like see him sitting alone in his room, staring at the object that he's got from the ice planet, and you really feel bad for him. Like, it's like the stark contrast between how cold and inefficient the Empire is and how the rebels at the very least are seen as the good guys. And in a sense, yeah, you gotta understand that. I mean, that's like, I think even the creators were like, Agent Callus is the breakout character of this series.
He's the breakout characters.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, I had to agree. Like, we never got a chance to see an Imperial character from like two different sides of the conflict, I guess. I mean,
would like a movie that is kind of pro-Empire, because, or at least shows things from how do they see these rebels? How do they see them? Because like we get movies about, Nazi soldiers. We get movies about like All Quiet on the Western Front, which is about World War I soldiers, where they're like, hey, we just don't know what this war is about anymore, and we're just like fighting. You think they all would just?
You think they all would have just been like, you know what? Fuck it. We might be deserting, but this isn't right. And they just be like, you know what? Fuck all this. Let's just like stop.
I mean, like, it would be nice if they had like that. I'm trying to remember. It's a Christmas type of thing that happened during World War I, where everyone stopped their. The most heartbreaking and beautiful story ever told.
Yeah, there's a movie based on that. It's like
a triumph of humanity.
Yep, I've seen that one.
That's one of the greatest war stories of all time. I don't care. It's like, that is beautiful. It's like, just because it's Christmas, except for Goldstein. Just like, he just sat there like, I'm ready to fight again.
It's called like, Show You Noel. I think that was one of the movies.
Yep, I think I remember that. I think I saw that actually.
He was, but it must have been awkward for him. He was just like standing there, it's like, yeah, Show You Noel. It's just like, they're like, yeah. Sorry, it's okay. It's okay, lad.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of good fan films about the Empire. There's a great one. It talks about the Battle of Jakku, where you see stormtroopers, they're getting ready for the doors to open, kind of like a Normandy situation, where they're just like, they're sweating, they're terrified, they're jittery, and they're like, hey, why'd you join up? Because people said I couldn't make it, and they're like giggling and laughing, and like the third guy's like, I joined because my brother was killed on the Death Star. It's like, they're like, oh shit.
Uh-oh.
Like, I mean, if there was actually an official movie like that, I'm pretty sure that would be very good. Like, we get to see something from the Empire point of view, because like, nothing against the rebels, we all love the rebels. We need to get a difference of opinion here.
Yeah, like, it's kind of like if there's a Vietnam movie told from the Viet Cong side, they see us they would see American troops as invaders in a way. Like, at least from their perspective. And so, like, they're fighting for their world and stuff like that, and that's, I think, how they would view their situation, where they feel like they're bringing something into this world order and chaos, like what if these characters came from places that were pigsties and horrible places until the Empire kind of purified everything, not racially, but like, society-wise, just like, hey, you do this and you're going to go to jail. And they were proud to serve. Like, they were not people that joined just out of vengeance or because the uniform looked good, because it obviously benefited them in some way. Like, either financially or... I know this is like, dude, you're talking about stormtroopers are the bad guys. It's like, every person in history is a bad guy, even fictional history. So, it's all about the characters, and I think if they ever did a Stormtrooper movie, it would be way too violent for Disney.
Have you seen what they've been putting out?
Well, they could only get away with it if they put it through one of their distributors known as Touchstone, which is how they, got all those terrible, crappy horror movies released by Touchstone into the world. So I don't think they could do a war film like that, where you see pretty messed up images, like a beach scene where you see like just stormtrooper bodies laying all over there, like the like that one Pink Floyd song from The Wall, where you just see soldiers marching on as there is a corpse next to them. Or like something out of Homeland where you see like a concentration camp style mass grave of stormtrooper parts. There's like horrific things, and I think that's what would happen in a stormtrooper movie. Or it'd be like a really depressing Vietnam film where one soldier gets down at first, they try to take his body and bury it, and then the next one dies. They're just like, take his dog tags and let's just keep moving. Just like, it would be really depressing for people. Rogue One was kind of depressing, but it was supposed to be, because there was great stakes. But if you're telling a fictional story about space fairyland soldiers in a war where they fight Ewoks and lose, then that's a problem. Starship Troopers is an exception. It's a fluke in that system. They're fighting murderous bugs, so they win that one.
Yeah, it's a shame that their government is just the worst, but,
Well, it's implied in Starship Troopers that the Earth invaded them, that they orchestrated a meteor attack so that they could invade. Like, Verhoeven is pretty good at, like, hinting at things in his movies, so when you watch that, you're like, how could a bunch of bugs make a meteorite hit the Earth?
Is this in the Starship Troopers movie?
Yeah.
I don't know, a lot of people said it wasn't all that good.
Really?
It was pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from the same people that made RoboCop, so it's literally a 90s RoboCop-like film. So it's nothing but...
I must be thinking of something else then.
Yeah,
right.
Maybe the horrible sequels.
Yeah, those were awful.
Possible.
There's no story to advance. It's a one-off film that should have just been left alone, like RoboCop.
Yeah, but we got 2, and 2 wasn't that bad, but 3.
We got 3 films, a TV show, a mini-series, a cartoon show, another cartoon show, and a reboot.
Wait, another cartoon show?
Yeah, we had 2 of them. One from the 80s, one from the 90s.
Oh.
One was distributed by Marvel Entertainment because, in the 80s. And the other one was distributed by a Canadian company, which was called RoboCop Alpha Commando. Where RoboCop was Inspector Gadget, pretty much. He had gadgets and stuff instead of just
shooting people.
Blowing up a rapist's dick. I'm like, he had so many chances to kill people, even for minor offenses, and it's just like, RoboCop would have blasted someone in half by now.
Yeah, I never got that trend in the 90s to try to take all these like really adult IPs and make them into marketable kid-friendly things. It was so weird because they're like going to make an alien movie.
They were going to do that with Alien.
Yeah. They're going to make an alien cartoon based off the movies.
Yeah, you're gonna make a movie where in the last film before this, a little girl died of asphyxiation in a cryo tube, where a man's chest exploded spraying blood over people, where a penis-shaped alien put its claws into someone's brain to make them mentally disabled while they turn them into an egg. Yeah, that's what kids want to watch on Saturday morning.
I think that's
And then,
what
oh my
kind of
God.
caused people to like get this view that kids are animations for kids. I think the 90s and 80s kind of had an effect on that because everything had to be marketable, I guess.
Everything had to be a toy.
Yeah, that's how TMNT, the original one, even got off the ground. Like the
I blame people like Hasbro and Mattel because
Yeah.
Mattel
Damn
was the
you!
forefront for that. They came out with Masters of the Universe, made a cartoon out of it, and then it just went insane. Japan, they already did stuff like this, but in America, not just America, but the Western and Eastern states outside of Asia were adapting this idea. And, it's not a bad thing. No, look at what we got. We had Batman, Superman. They've had comics and storylines where they've done horrific and violent things to people. Superman let someone die because they were racist. Like, Batman used to shoot people with a gun in his early comics. For goodness sake, the Lone Ranger was marketed to children, and he shot people. Zorro stabbed people. Like, all that stuff. Because, it's a cartoon for kids.
Yeah, it's not a problem. It's just I just feel like that was kind of the driving force for the whole stereotype that cartoons are made for kids. But also in the 90s there was a lot of really adult animation. Even back in like the 70s there was, like with Ralph Bakshi.
Oh, him.
Yeah, and some other people.
Yeah, Ralph made some good stuff. Then he got reincarnated into Ralph Seppi.
Wait, huh?
I think it's a Ralph the Movie Maker joke. I have to make one every so often.
Oh.
I ain't scared of him, King Candy.
I would like to see that, like just you going toe to toe with Ralph, like in an actual physical fight.
I don't think any of us would win. We're both kind of pussies because he
Yeah.
pretends to be tough, like I do too. So it's just like, it's like watching two sponges being thrown against the wall. It's just like, plus it would be in Boston, so it's another step down in standards.
Yeah.
No offense to Boston, it's just that you guys have Wahlburgers there, and I question your sanity for having that. Not today. I'm like, when I see a Wahlburger sign, I'm like, not today, Satan, not today.
Yeah, I know how it feels. I'm from Texas, so I can't really talk too bad about Boston.
It's just like we feel we're concerned for you, Boston.
Yeah. I'm
Not
trash
because
too.
of anything bad happened. It's just how you are in general.
Yeah.
It's like someone from Boston's like, don't ever come to Boston then. It's like, when would we ever want to? I'm just kidding. Boston's a great place. We're just joking around being dicks.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I'm just, we're all being
friendly.
silly. Sad
It's a
thing is-
suburb city.
Yeah, it seems like it's very upper crust kind of. I don't know.
There's a lot of cargo shorts there, though.
Ooh. A lot of dude
Cargo
bros.
shorts and chowder.
Uh.
My daughter's drowning in a bowl of clam chowder. My God. But yeah, that's about it for me.
Yeah, I think actually I'm not sure. Should we end it off right now? It's about an hour because I think.
Yeah,
Alright.
I think we should because we're not getting many guests tonight, and
Yeah.
there's not really
Yeah.
anything going on outside of our personal lives, and
Mm-mm.
people have suffered enough through what we talk about, let alone our personal lives.
Yeah, I'm just watching a video about a film theory, why you shouldn't fly to Mordor. You know that whole theory about why they didn't use the eagles to fly to Mordor and, drop the ring off at Mount Doom? Thinking about it, there were a shit ton of reasons, one being the Nazgul.
Oh,
Those guys
bless
could have
you.
just seen that. No, the Nazgul.
Yeah,
Oh, bless you. You must have a
They
cold.
probably could have seen them come a mile away and then have Eagle dinner. So that was probably out. That and Sauron would have sensed the ring nearby, immediately just looked up, see the eagles, and then dead. I'm pretty sure that was the reason why they couldn't fly. Just my thought. I'm just watching a video now just to explain.
Hmm.
I left it in the group chat if you guys want to listen to it.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I guess I'll see you guys whenever.
See
Alright.
you whenever. Everybody, stay safe this holiday season. Just stay safe.
Yes, please.
Alright.
Peace.
Later.
Bye.